Well, I think the framework agreement was welcomed by everybody, although nobody seemed to know what the contents were. So even after 4 years, people are still asking what was it about, and it was basically 3 points which were extremely general in nature, accepting the reality of each other's entities and saying that neither would do anything to harm prospects of peace. But that obviously didn't go far enough. So in terms of the specifics, although there is pressure to do a deal within 3 months, I think the history of relations between the Nagas and the Naga movements and the government of India has been such that one needs to hasten slowly. Now, one could say that you've done it over 22 years with the negotiations which have gone on and there is mostly meeting points on most issues, but there are a few sticking points. And the NSCN leaders have made it very clear that they are not going to compromise on the issue of the flag and the issue of the question of nationality, that there will be a Naga nationality and Indian nationality, and the two would have to go together. How that is going to happen, I don't know, because it means that you'll have to strengthen 371A or build in a constitutional clause that would enable some sort of a duality. But then, we are all many identities anyway, so I don't know how this is going to work out. And the Governor of Nagaland, who has been the interlocutor for several years, Mr. Ravi, has said that we can come to a solution within 3 months, but I wouldn't really bet on that unless you have something very specific to come by. As far as the impacts on the Northeast are concerned, if there is an inclusive agreement, it would augur well for the region. If there is an agreement which is driven through by both sides without enough of an inclusion and knowledge of civil society and Naga society and the other factions, and there are a total of 5 or 6 of them, then it could lead to a greater complexity and a possible upsurge of confrontations.
Principal interlocutor of the Government of India, who was in talks with the NSCN-IM, which is the major group as far as the Nagaland is concerned, has been placed as the Governor of Nagaland, and he has taken over that position, as well as he is continuing with the talks with the NSCN-IM. Now, Mr. Ravi has made a statement that the Prime Minister has indicated to him that he wants a resolution within 3 months. In this backdrop, we are hopeful that the talks will get momentum and will speed up. On the contrary, we are hearing from the NSCN-IM leadership, which says that they will not compromise on the Naga sovereignty, on the Naga constitution, and a separate flag for Nagaland. In fact, other day, the media, there was a statement which said that the Nagas will never accede to the Indian Union. Now, this type of strong talk, sort of statements coming from leaders such as the General Secretary Isak-Muivah himself, I think there are some conflicting reports which are coming from the ground, which may not see the timeline which has been given by the Prime Minister achieved. On the other hand, you also have the states such as Manipur, where there is growing resistance for the type of solutions which has been proposed, that is the social integration of the Naga areas of Manipur into one block. Similarly, social integration of the Arunachal and Assam areas into one block to satisfy the demands of the NSCN-IM that all Naga areas should be under one entity. Now, there is resistance from these states which is also likely to come up. Given this backdrop, while the talks have so far been going reasonably well compared to what has happened in the previous years, but early closure, to my mind, is not in the offing. Secondly, even if there's early closure, we have to be very make sure that all the Naga groups have signed the agreement and this is a final closure. It can't be like the previous Shillong Accord where some Naga groups signed and the other Naga groups kept fighting. So early closure should not mean that some groups are left out. So to my mind, it's more important to have a final closure as soon as possible rather than a closure with a time limit.